Hello, beautiful people. My name is Nicole Mashingaidze, and I'm going to be reading Deuteronomy 11 through 14. Let's get started. You shall therefore love the Lord God and always keep his charge, his statutes, his ordinances, and his commandments. Know this day that I am not speaking with your sons, who have not known and who have not seen the discipline of the Lord your God, his greatness, his mighty hand and his outstretched arm, and his signs and works, which he did in the midst of Egypt to Pharaoh, to the king of Egypt, and to all his land, and what he did to Egypt's army, to its horses and its chariots, when he made the water of the Red Sea to engulf them while they were pursuing you, and the Lord completely destroyed them, and what he did to you in the wilderness until you came to this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, when the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, their households, their tents, and every living thing that followed them, among all of Israel. But your own eyes have seen all the great work of the Lord which he did. You shall therefore keep every commandment which I am commanding you today, so that you may be strong and go in and possess the land into which you are about to cross into and possess it, so that you may prolong your days on the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give to them and to their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land in which you are entering to possess it is not like the land of Egypt, from where you came, where you used to sow your seed and water it, with your foot like a vegetable garden. But the land into which you are about to cross into, possess it, a land of hills and valleys, drinks water from the rain of heaven, a land for which the Lord your God cares. The eyes of the Lord your God are always on it, from the beginning even to the end of the year. It shall come about, if you listen obediently to my commandments which I am commanding you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and all your soul, that he will give you the rain for your land in its season, the early and late rain, that you may gather in your grain and your new wine and your oil. He will give grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Beware that your hearts are not deceived, and that you do not turn away and serve other gods and worship them, or the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and he will shut up the heavens, so there will be no rain, and the ground will not yield its fruit, and you will perish quickly from the good land which the Lord is giving you. You shall therefore impress these words of mine on your hearts and on your soul, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals on your forehead. You shall teach them to your sons, talking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk along the road, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your sons may be multiplied on the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens remain above the earth. For if you are careful to keep these commandments, which I am commanding you to do, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to hold fast to him, then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will dispossess nations greater and mightier than you. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours. Your border will be from the wilderness to Lebanon, and from the river to the river Euphrates, as far as the western sea. No man will be able to stand before you. The Lord your God will lay the dread of you and the fear of you on all the land on which you set foot, and he has spoken to you. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I am commanding you today, and the curse, if you do not listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside from the way which I am commanding you today, by following other gods which you have not known. It shall come about when the Lord your God brings you into the land where you are entering to possess it, that you shall place the blessing on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. Are they not across the Jordan, west of the way towards the sunset, in the land of the Canaanites, who live in the Arabah, opposite Gilgal, beside the oaks of Moreh? For you are about to cross the Jordan into possess the land which the Lord your God has given you, and you shall possess it and live in it. And you shall be careful to do all the statutes and judgments which I am setting before you today. Chapter 12. These are the statutes and the judgments which the Lord shall carefully observe in the land which the Lord the God of your fathers has given you to possess, as long as you live on the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations whom you shall dispossess, serve their gods, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. You shall tear down their altars and smash their sacred pillars and burn their Ishram with fire, and you shall cut down the engraved images of their gods and obliterate their name from that place. You shall not act like this towards the Lord your God, but you shall seek the Lord at the place which the Lord your God will choose from all your tribes, to establish his name there for his dwelling, and there you shall come. There you shall bring your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the contribution of your hand, your votive offering, your freewill offering, and the firstborn of your herd and your flock. There also you and your household shall eat before the Lord your God, and rejoice in all your undertakings, in which the Lord your God has blessed you. You shall not do at all what we are doing here today, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. For you have not as yet come to the resting place and the inheritance which the Lord your God is giving you. When you cross the Jordan and live in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, and he gives you the rest from all your enemies around you, so that you live in security. Then it shall come about that place in which the Lord your God will choose for his name to dwell. There you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your contributions, and all your choice votive offerings, which you will vow to the Lord. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and your daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites, who is within your gates, since he has no portion or inheritance with you. Be careful that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every cultic place you see, but in the place which the Lord chooses in one of your tribes. There shall you offer burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. However, you may slaughter and eat meat within any of your gates. Whatever you desire, according to the blessing of the Lord your God, which he has given you, the unclean and the clean, you may eat of it, as of the gazelle and the deer. Only you shall not eat the blood. You are to pour it out onto the ground like water. You are not allowed to eat within the gates the tithe of your grain, or new wine, or oil, or the firstborn of your herd or flock, or any of your votive offerings, which you vow, or your freewill offerings, or the contribution of your hand. But you shall eat them before the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord your God will choose, and you and your sons and daughters, and your male and female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God in all your undertakings. Be careful that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God extends your border, as he has promised you, and you say, I will eat meat because you desire to eat meat, then you may eat meat, whatever you desire. If the place which the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you may slaughter of the herd and flock which the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and you may eat within your gates, whatever you desire. Just as a gazelle or a deer is eaten, so you will eat it, the unclean and the clean alike. You may eat of it. Only be sure not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the flesh. You shall not eat it. You shall not pour it out on the ground like water. You shall not eat it, so that it may be well with you and your sons after you, for you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Lord. Only for holy things which you may have, and your votive offerings, you shall take and go to the place which the Lord chooses. And you shall offer burnt offerings and the flesh and the blood on the altar of the Lord your God. And the blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out on the altar of the Lord your God, and you shall eat the flesh. Be careful to listen to all these words which I command you, so that it may be well with you and your sons after you forever. For you will be doing what is good and right in the sight of the Lord your God. When the Lord your God cuts off before you the nations which you are going in to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, beware that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed before you, and that you do not inquire after their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods, that I may also do likewise? You shall not behave thus toward the Lord your God, for every abominable act which the Lord hates they have done for their gods, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire of their gods. Whatever I command you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add or take anything away from it. Chapter 13. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder comes true, concerning which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after other gods, whom you have not known, and let us serve them, you shall not listen to the words of the prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you to find out if you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall follow the Lord your God and fear him, and you shall keep his commandments. Listen to his voice, serve him, and cling to him. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has counseled rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you from the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of slavery, to seduce you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall purge the evil from among you, If your brother, your mother's son or daughter, or your wife you cherish, or your friend who is as your own soul entices you secretly, saying, "Let us go and serve other gods," whom neither you nor your fathers have known, of the gods of the people who are around you, near and far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you shall not yield to him or listen to him, and your eyes shall not pity him, nor shall you spare or conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be the first against him, to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. So you shall stone him to death, because he has sought to seduce you from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of slavery. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and will never again do such a wicked thing among you. If you hear in one of your cities, which the Lord your God is giving you to live in, anyone saying that some worthless men have gone out from among you and have seduced inhabitants in their city, saying, "Let us go and serve other gods, whom you have not known," then you shall investigate and search out and inquire thoroughly. If it is true, and the matter established, that this abomination has been done among you, you shall surely strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it, and all that is in it, and its cattle with the edge of the sword. Then you shall gather all its booty into the middle of it, open square, and burn the city and all its booty with fire, as whole burnt offerings to the Lord your God, and it shall be a ruin forever. It shall never be rebuilt. Nothing from that which is put under the ban shall cling to your hand, in order that the Lord may turn from his burning anger and show mercy to you, and have compassion on you, and make you increase, just as he has sworn to your fathers. If you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, keeping all his commandments, which I am commanding you today, and do what is right in the sight of the Lord your God, all will be well. Chapter 14. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor shave your foreheads for the sake of the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his own. Out of all of the people who are on the face of the earth, you shall not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. Any animal that divides its hoof and has the hoof split in two, and chews the cud among the animals, that you may eat of. Nevertheless, you are not to eat of these among those which chew the cud, or among those that divide the hoof in two: the camel, and the rabbit, and the shapen. For those, they chew the cud, they do not divide the hoof. They are unclean for you. The pig, because it divides the hoof, but it does not chew the cud, it is unclean for you. You shall not eat any of their flesh, nor touch their carcasses. These you may eat of all that are in the water. Anything that has fins and scales you may eat. But anything that does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. You may eat any clean bird, but these are the ones which you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, and the buzzard. and the red kite, the falcon, the kite in their kinds, and every raven in its kind, and the ostrich, the owl, the seagull, and the hawk in their kinds, the little owl, the great owl, the white owl, the pelican, the carrion, the vulture, the cormorant, the stork, and the heron in their kinds, and the hoopie and the bat. And all the teeming life with wings are unclean to you. They shall not be clean, and they shall not be eaten. You may eat any clean bird. You shall not eat anything which dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is in your town, so they may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall surely tithe all the produce from what you sow, which comes out of the field every year. You shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God, at the place where he chooses to establish his name, the tithe of your grain, your new wine, your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and your flock, so that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. If the distance is so great for you that you are not able to bring the tithe, since the place where the Lord your God chooses to set his name is too far away from you, when the Lord your God blesses you, then you shall exchange it for money, and bind the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. You may spend the money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen or sheep, or wine, or strong drink, or whatever your heart desires, and there you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice, you and your household. Also, you shall not neglect the Levite who is in your town, for he has no portion of your inheritance among you. At the end of every third year, you shall bring out all the tithe of your produce in that year, and shall deposit it in your town. The Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance among you, and the alien, the orphan, and the widow are in your town, shall come and eat and be satisfied, in order that the Lord your God may be blessed, you and all your work, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. And that was Deuteronomy 11 through 14.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to Fear into Faith Global Bible Revival, where we are on a mission to get 1 million people to read God's Word cover to cover for themselves. I'm your host, Summer Day, and with me in the studio is Nicole, whose last name I'm going to have you say because I don't know how to say it.
It's Mashingaidze.
Bless you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, one more time. I'm going to try it.
Mashingaidze.
Mashingaidze.
Yeah, you did it.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Look at that.
Just like it's spelled.
High five up top. Amen. Yay.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
fabulous.
Thank you. You are too.
Thank you. I received that.
Yeah. So much fun.
We have. It's been a long, fun day. You've actually had friends that recorded today. So you've been here. You were here yesterday.
I was.
You're a groupie now. You're a show groupie.
I don't mind.
We should get you a t-shirt.
Yes. T-shirt, sweatshirt,
Sounds good. Sounds good. You are president of the fan club of the TV show already.
I am. You didn't know that? We already started it.
Yeah, dude. You guys already have a secret handshake. I don't know about.
Global Bible Revival Fan Club.com. Yeah.
Come on. So good. Well, what has this experience been like so far for you?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, this is the most fun I've had in probably all year.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
You got to move here then.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. So much fun. It's like family. You guys are like family already.
What makes it so much fun?
You're wonderful.
Stop some more. Wait, stop right now, Nicole.
Well, and Jackie and, everyone that's here, really. I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I got here, but I mean, from the time I got picked up from the airport, which was so wonderful, thank you for that, to the time we got to this door, I just felt like I was family. Yeah, so it's been wonderful.
That's our prayer. We feel like the people that come in, the Lord's handpicked them, and there's all these divine appointments, which is super awesome. Well, why don't you tell the people watching a little bit about you, who you are, what you do?
What I do. Okay, so I am Nicole Mashingaidze. I am.
Bless you.
Yes. I am a wife, a mother of 3 wonderful, not boys anymore, they're men, and a business owner. I've been self-employed since I was 19 years old. I always say I'm not employable.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, but, Lord did an overhaul on me right around 40-ish. And said, you've been doing business for yourself. It's time for you to do business for me.
Wow, 40. So like last week?
No, I'm 48.
Stop.
So, yeah, about 8 years. He said, I'm calling you into the ministry. And you're going to do business my way.
Love it.
Yeah.
And how have things been since that happened?
Oh, it's been a wild ride.
Right?
It's been a wild
isn't
ride.
hanging out with Jesus just a wild ride? It's a wild, wild west show with Jesus.
It is. But he gave me understanding about what I really loved about business. And what I really loved about business was helping other people. What I really loved about business is seeing people grow.
Amen.
What I really loved about business is big visions from the Lord that are going to come to fruition. So all the things that I thought loved a lot of other things, but he kind of showed me where my heart really was. Imagine, right? God tells you.
He shows you your own heart.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you know, Lord?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. He's so sneaky. He just knows us so well. Well, what made you say yes to this project?
Oh, wow. Do we have time?
We've got all the time.
We have time.
We're in charge of the show. We'll never end.
Yes. Well, my decision to do the project came because I actually attended your Fear in the Faith event, but I attended it virtually. Someone had invited me at the last minute.
Yeah.
And I actually had 2 people actually invite me at the last minute, so I figured I probably better go. 2 people, and then one person said it twice. So I'm like, I better go ahead and attend, and I did. And it was probably one of the most eventful things I've been to actually my whole life, and not to blow smoke up.
Wow.
But honestly, it was. It was monumental. It changed my life. And I got deliverance. Through Zoom.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, actually we have. We have had people that started praying in tongues on Zoom. We had a lady who is like, I've never prayed in tongues before. I just prayed in tongues. I laid hands on my son. He got healed. We have. It's amazing how the Holy Spirit can operate through Zoom. Mm-hmm. So you weren't even in the room with us. You were virtual.
I wasn't in the room. Didn't even know I was going to be there. And just tuned in. And the each speaker that came on, the more I heard you, heard your heart. I was like, something is going on here. Something really, really good. And the Lord, he just worked it all out.
You can check out the rest of this interview right here or by going to BibleRevival.tv. And if this show has blessed you, you can help us bless others by partnering with us for as little as $20 a month and help us to expand the reach of this show. We'd also like to invite you to join our Kingdom Discipleship Program, where you have an opportunity to get on weekly Bible Zoom calls with us and people around the world to deep dive into His Word. And you can check all that out at BibleRevival.tv. I'll see you next time, my friend.